First of all, welcome to BalCCon again. And this is going to be my second talk in here, which is in BalCCon. I did make a talk in last year about, again, close to this topic, but in different way. This time, I'm just going to be focused on some JavaScript way, how to do control not some normal programs, or how to control some hardware in basics. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. If I make any mistakes, please bear with me. This is programmers. Always we can just, failed. That's normal. So anyway. So today's, in this event, I'm just going to talk about how to control hardware and stuff, but before that, I just want to give some information about what's this JavaScript things and what's the Node.js and how do we use it, how do we install it, and how do you, do some stuff with it. Because most often web developers and other people knows JavaScript, I think most likely. I think everyone is here, I think know what the JavaScript is, in a mean of it. And if you don't know, okay, this is good. Maybe I can teach something. So there is also other perspective of this presentation, which is about little bit IoT, but I'm not going to go that deep because it's entirely another topic. We can talk about like another 2 hours, which is, I don't want to just bore people. So what is the Node.js? What is this programming language things gave us? It's a JavaScript. It's working on a Chrome engine, and it's lightweight. It's really nice, efficient. You can just install your own package or someone else's package with using npm. It just depends on Node.js. So if you don't have a Node.js, it won't work. And as a Fedora, we love Node.js. We use it. If you want to install it, just do this command line on the on the presentation, or you can use your own distribution or operating system. It depends on you can install it. It's easy, and I love documentation of it because it's really, really clear, and you can just take a look there. It's not some sort of a blob things. It's very light and efficient, so use it. And of course, if you try to develop something, please in user mode. I mean, do not just use root all the time because there is some sort of a security issue. We don't like it, and I hope you just get the point of it. So, how do you use this Node.js? It's very, very simple. So if I want to show you, let me just go there. Just exit out. Okay. So let's just open up terminal. Okay. All right. I just need some simple terminal. So when you install Node.js, all you have to do is just okay. Is it? Oh, it's Scratch. So we have to do this now. Okay. So everyone can see it. Is it okay? Okay, yeah, I have to big then. Okay, let me change it. Let me just go this. Okay. Let's just do this. Okay. So, big enough? Okay, cool. So, when you type this, you just see the version of the Node.js, what we have in Fedora, or this is also a long-term version, so which is the stable one. And if you check the npm version, this is what it is. And if you want to run something on Node.js, it's very simple. All you have to do is to create the JavaScript file. If I do this like simple test file, let's just say, and let's say I want to type something on it, like, some very simple stuff, very, very basic, nothing so fancy. Let's say, hello. Done. We can just save it. Oh, okay. And if I want to run, just run, and yay, it's working. Very simple. It's nothing so complicated. So, it just how to run Node.js. So you don't need any web browser. You don't need any kind of external application. You just need Node.js. You can run it. But if you want to run something, oh, sorry, by the way. If you want to run something on your web browser, you're going to need some tools, and that tools will be going to used on your web browser, which is it's a library simply. and you can just get it from the Node.js, thankfully, and you can just use it on your JavaScript file. And when you run it, it's going to only show you the client side, your server side, which is your code's going to be in the background, so nobody see your what did you type it. They're just going to see the result of it. So it can work as a server side. It can also work on client side. It just depends on you how do you program it, and it's very easy. So about some basics of Node.js. Normally I don't want to talk that much. I'm just going to show it. How is it going to go? What can we do? What can be done? So in basics, it's very simple. Let me just go back to my terminal again. And let me just change something before. Okay. Okay. So about some little simple basics we have. If you just take a look, like some basics code of it, but let's just do it a little bit better. Let's just do some colorful way. Just sorry for this, Dan. Let's just bring this out. Let's just change it with color, and let's do this way. Okay, this is I think better. It's gonna be, yep. Okay, this, and yeah, I think. Yep, this is I think better, just more easy. So as I just type it, it was just a simple way how to just output your console, how to type in Node.js. But if you know already JavaScript, and you can just type your code and just run it on Node.js. But if you wanna do something extra like some variables, some stuff like that, you can do that too. And it's kind of like this. Let me just show it up. Okay, all right, fine. So let me just minimize it a little bit. So some little example, nothing so fancy. So if you know already JavaScript, which is the same rules applies, you can just put your variables like A, B, C, A, whatever you want. You can just did something to equalize it, and you can just call some built-in function like date. You can use the, some if statement, for statement, while statement, whatever you want. You can just call it out and just output in your terminal. As you can see, it's very easy, very basics. If you want to learn something more, there is some nice website of it. You can just go there and do that first. And if you already know it, then you can just jump to the advanced part and just do your work. It's very, very simple and very efficient. And my slide is always going back. I don't know why. Okay. So, about some electronics and about a little bit IoT. So, relationship with Node.js is, if you want to control your hardware, we have to connect some protocols. We have to use some sort of a connection method. It will allow you to control our devices. So, if you want to connect your basic hardware like some Arduino or Raspberry Pi or Beagleboard or your quadrocopter, or if you made something, maybe something unique, and you choose some way to control of it, it's the one of the example, actually let's say general ways to control it, because it is, I don't know better ways to control it. So we have SPI, IC2, and serial port, and I think most of us know how to control serial port because it's the basics of the hardware control. Because if you try any Arduino types, it will just give you how to connect with them, which is serial port. And it just allows you get the output, what you did in your codes, if you have a serial terminal, and it just shows you the result of it. But let's say you want to control some motors, and you want to control like a multiple of it. Then you're going to need something extra. And in this matter, I'm using IC2 because it's really nice. It's just 2 cable can be connected like if I have a support on my chip, which is also depend on your hardware, I can just connect 10,000 motors in one device with the 2 cable. I just need to write the address list and I can just control it, which is very nice. So if you have something more smart, like embedded computers, like Beagleboard or something like that, you can use a web server and socket. And you can also use this method with your serial connection. You can combine with them. So in locally, you can use your computer as a communication method with your website. And in the behind, your hardware can be communicate with this one of the protocols. Or if you have industrial protocols, if you try any, you can use that one too. And it's very easy, very basics. And also, there is some OpenWRT routers and microchips. Well, it's kind of tricky to do this, but on OpenWRT, I can say there is some way of the Node.js support, but you have to compile it yourself. So it's not easy. You also need external hardware and storage to do this, so be careful with it. So, about these two guys. These two guys is allowed to control both connection and depend on an address list. If you want to control your hardware with the Node.js, you should know what is this first. So, it's a multiplexer, can be analog, can be digital. Also, you can determine each address depend on your library. So, which means you have to know your address list on your datasheet, and your hardware needs to be supported. Or if it doesn't have any support, you have to do it yourself. Because, I mean, think about this. There is a lots of device, a lots of chip in world, because, 2016, and there is no general library to control all of the hardware at once. And if there is any, I mean, I want to see what kind of site is going to be just a billion of lines of code, and it's not a reliable solution. So it's also depend on what hardware you use of it. So you have to check, is it supported on Node.js library system or not? If it is, how do I control it? That's some questions we need to answer ourselves, then we can continue. So, as an exemplary, this is a device I used before. It's working on Node.js. It's easy. So, I check it myself before I start my project. So, this guy is work on IC2. There is a 16 channel, and I know what the specific is. It's controlling for motors, which is I use it. And needs some soldering, needs some job, this is normal. And there's a library. So I can install this library like npm install, and they give the name of the library, and it will work, and give me the result of the library, and I can use it on my project and control my hardware, and I can go on and go on. So which is nice. But it's only work on this chip. I can use nothing else, and nothing I can do an extra. Just I have to know this is for this, and yeah. But if you add something your own, if you modify it, yes, you can use it. And if you want to see some example, it's kind of like this. As you can see, we have to get this code line before we have to try to use it. So let's say I install it, and I have to require this this part of this first two line, which is, sorry, let me just do this. Okay, so this two line is allow me to control IC2 protocols, and this is my chip. And then just open my address, my frequency. I have to know it from my datasheet. It is kind of technical, but it's in hardware way. So then when I get my result, it's kind of testing. Okay then, so I'm connected. So what can I do? I can send my PVM control, my pulse, my address, and I can just turn around and do my stuff, which is very easy. But it's changing for each hardware and each type of device, so we have to be careful with it. And this is also a serial port, which is just also a general way to communicate. We just need to know what the device on it is. So the address I mean is, let me just show up. Okay. If I open my terminal. Okay. So I just plug my Arduino here. So my Arduino is right there. Right over there is TTA-AC. This is my device. I just connected to here. So I know what the address is. So I can connect it with the Node.js way and control of it. And when I get the result, I'm going to get some information what I program inside of it. So I'm going to show it later on. Let's just keep this way at the moment. Okay. Okay. So, how do I control it? It's easy. The magical code is just get the library, call the function, just type your bound rate and your, or if you're in Macintosh, it's the same but different. Linux is this way. If you use Windows or something, it's com 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, it's something. And make sure you have a permission, because controlling input and output device from your computers is required some administration rights. In Linux, we have a groups, and if I add myself to the groups, I can control of it. But in Windows and Macintosh, you need some require certain stuff, but I don't know exactly what it is. So let's say web browser and WebSocket. This is also very nice things, because since we are in IoT world and website world, because everything is going to cloud, what they said in industrial level, in also commercial level. So we know the stuff we do, we love do stuff in web. So how do I do it in Node.js? So it has some ways, not just one way. It's a big answer I can give it to you, but I'm gonna give most known type of the way. How do I do it? So let's just do it and see how is it gonna go. So this is the code, but I'm gonna just show it how is it done. Okay, let me just go back my codes. I don't see anything in here. Let me just go back first and see. Okay. Okay. So is this one? Okay. All right. So let me just open up, please. Just give me a second. Okay. This is the HTTP web server control way, which is, it's built in Node.js. You don't have to install anything. Just type your code. No installation required. And this is how you're done. Just have to call the library you need, and I just make my constants and stuff like that. And this is my simple web browser code. If I just run it, let me just run it out, by the way. And if I just do it, okay. All right. So when I run it, as you can see, it's working, and it's very basic web server. So there is a lots of code you see in the backline, but in here, if you just inspect the element, is it just a client, server side and client side is disappeared, so there is no JavaScript, it's just an HTML, nothing else. It's clean and it's very nice. So if I want to do something a little bit nicer, there's also another way to do it, which is, this is based on Sinatra, which is Ruby web browser things, but it's different. So this is calling Express. And Express is also an external library on Node.js, but very famous. If you want to control your, your web browser, web server with this, it's also possible. You can also combine with the database and other codes you want to do it. You can do it. So let me just run it this one. Okay. And I have to just kill this one first. Okay. Let's say I want to run my Express server. When I try it, yes. Okay. So this is the Express. This is also a web server system. It's a little bit tinier. So the code line is not longer as I did in before. It's just like a couple of lines, like 10 lines. This one is a little bit longer, but it was a built-in library. So this guy's Express is just change it. Some things become easier to access it for us, so we can just go with it and use the library. And if you want to take a look, as you can see, I just need to call Express and do my stuff. So the last line and the first line is just because I want to run automatically Firefox, just open up in the web, in the window. So it just doesn't matter at the moment. It's just for this presentation, so nothing else. Okay. Okay. So wait. Okay. So this is, as I said, it's just a built-in function. It's just HTTP, run your codes, and you have to just, call out this status, header, content, hello, everything must be done by manually. But in Express, it's just like this. That's all. In the very basics of HTTP and Express, there is so many differences between them, and it's short, well documented, and it's always active project, and I like it. So, about in industrial ways. Okay, if any of you know about building automation and HVAC systems, any of you? Okay, good. One person knows it. So, this protocol is I think about it. You heard of some of it, Bacnet and Modbus. Yeah. If you want to control some big hardware, like not just we're talking about tiny home stuff, we're talking about some air condition system, whole this building, and heating system, cooling system, water system, and lots of stuff depend on how big your project is. So this protocols is the do the way. But it's very nice. We can do it in Node.js too. We can control our system with this waste of the way, but it's really, really complex, and I just don't want to, just show up the whole line because you have to know all the protocols, what it is, but I just want to give some information. It's also possible. If any of you interested, you can take a look on Node.js library, which is npm.js. You can see which protocols is supported or which is not. If you like it, you can use it, but it's always welcome to develop and add something more. So let's just say okay, this is hobby way. This is like if you have some tiny device like Arduino, okay, this project is your way. So, it's also meant to be any robotics too about Node.js. About Node-RED, we have some charts and visual stuff. It's kind of like advanced controlling, and it gives you some nice, graphical interface to allow you to control your any application, any hardware with it. You just have to drag and drop. And let me just show it. Let me run it from here to here. Okay. All I did is I just type Node-RED, and if I go to the website, it's showing me which web server is running, if you don't believe me. As you can see, it's running at the moment is this port and this website. Let me just open up. Yep, okay. And I have to go, I think, a little bit minimize it, this one. But it's not working. Let me just fix it, please. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry about it. Oh, okay. Okay, let me just do it in here, please, first. Okay, cool. So, as you can see, this is Node-RED. This is meant to be an IoT project and robotics project. If there is your function and callbacks, you can just drag and drop and just do your input, do your stuff, and when you're done, you can deploy it. And deployment is based on the embedded device, and this is a normal computer, so I cannot just deploy it at the moment. So I'm just gonna show up how is it done. And it's really nice. It's also packaging for Fedora. It's almost be completed. So in Fedora 25, I guess, we're gonna have this package. You can just install very easily and use it on your embedded devices and your IoT devices. So IoT project is also working on Fedora too. So if you have Fedora Atomics and something like that, you can just deploy your operating system and your hardware, software on it, and you can just run in whatever you want. It's just really, really nice, really preparing. So, yeah. Let me just go here. All right. I might just go too much. Okay, good. So about Cyclone.js is also another project is for robotics, And it's also very easy to use it. And if you want to use it, just install npm install cyclone. And if you want to install globally, it's also just need a G. And Johnny5, Gord, and other stuff is also same way you can control your hardwares. Like, I mean, there's a lots of hardware you know if you aware about it, like Arduino in the most, and Raspberry Pi, and other IoT, other embedded device like a Beagleboard, a Pine chip, or your quadrocopter. It's entirely up to you. You can control with these libraries. There is some nice support on it, and you can simply use it. So I have an Arduino in here. I'm just going to control my Arduino with the Cyclone, and let me just show up very quickly. Let me just go here, clean up this one. Okay. Yep. Yep, okay. All right, so as you can see, I just ran my command, but let me just do it again. Just terminate it. Okay, this is the command. And let me open the camera also, so you can see it. Video. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's go here. So, okay. Okay. So, is it okay? Everyone see it? Okay. So, let me just do this one. Put it here. Okay. So, if I just show it in the camera, as you can see, I just try to control the LED from right here. So I installed my firmware in it, and it's, as you can see, it just blinking is in 2 seconds, and it's working easily. And this is very basic of the Cyclone.js. You can just use any other device, control more and more and more. I'm just trying to give the basics. So let's see how it's going down. It's very nice also. Let me just clone this up. So this is my project. Yeah. So I just connect my device to my USB, and all I have to do is just call my library, which is this, Cyclone. And Cyclone recognize everything as a robot because it's meant to be robotics. So you can just call your ports and your adapter and drivers, and your device is what are you going to control it. You want to control motors or something else, depend on you. And you can just do it in 2 seconds, milliseconds, depend on what I'm going to do in my function, and then just start it up and use it, and that's all. It's very basics and very easy. If you want to have something more complex and something else, you can just research on it and do your own magical device. It's entirely up to you. So, but how do I install this and control it? Let me just create another project for you in basics way. Okay. All right. So first things first, I need to initialize my project. Let me just do this one also. It's asking for what's going to be name is. I'm just going to skip this one very fastly. Okay, the project is done. So I need to know what I'm going to install it. I'm going to install my Cyclone. And I'm also use a Firmata, which is the device is already installed. I need this one. And also I need some other stuff which is required for this. And then I would like to save these libraries in my working folder, so it's going to calling up automatically and I can use it. Let me just install it. By the way, it's also solving dependencies, so I don't have to do anything else, and it just installed. As you can see, I just want to install Cyclone, but it also install, as you can see, other stuff like here, as you can see, serial port, Firmata, and others. So the good part of the NPM is it's solving dependency automatically, so you don't have to deal with this problem. So, like, can I see what I just typed it in the save? As you can see, my dependencies is here. So I know this dependencies has been saved in here, and if anyone else wants to use my project, it can just type npm install like this, and it will gonna just check which package is needed. But let's say I just delete the package. So I want to install from remote. Yep. And as you can see, it just check the file, which is the JSON file, and get the library it's needed, and it's gonna be done. So then I have to create my JavaScript file. Well, let's just do this. And type my project, what I'm going to do, which is I show it later before, and I just have to run it, and it's gonna be completed. Okay. Okay, but we just don't have Arduino stuff. We have lots of different libraries you can use on your other project. If you want to control Bluetooth, you can use Bluetooth control. If you want to use some image processing, some OpenCV project, you can use this one. If you want to control a Raspberry Pi, yes. Or if you have any kind of a keyboard, mouse, joystick, whatever you want to control, it's already prepared, and you just have to go to the website and just check it, and it's done. It's easy. About resources and which website is I use it and check it out, it is the website list. I recommend it for you if you want to go check it and learn about more robotics and stuff like that. Node.js is already known things, you just have to Google it. And this is the hardware part for how to control the stuff. I mean, you know. And I think I'm just go a little bit too fast. And if you have any questions, please welcome. In the end, this is all. That's all for me. Okay. Any questions? Anything about something? I think nothing. Please.
Can it run Raspberry Pi?
Yes, you just have to do is, let's say you run Fedora or Debian. On Fedora, DNF install Node.js and npm, done, and just continue. On Raspbian, if you want to know about it, apt-get install, same idea applies. But you can also use NVM, which is, let me show up. This is what I'm doing right now at the moment. Okay, there is something we call NVM, which is I install it. On NVM, you can control multiple versions of the Node.js and install any version you like to do. So you don't need the package manager too. You can do this way. So if you want to install like version 4.5.1, if I might say, just click it. If it is there, it's going to install. If it's not, yeah, it's not founded. Let's say I want to install latest, so which is stable version. Yep, it's already installed. All you have to do is switch the version, and you're going to get the result. If I want to switch, all I have to do is check what I have. Oh, sorry, not this. Yep, I have version 6.5 and 4.5, so I just can switch between them and install it any device I want to, as long as you have operating system.
It's like Python workload environment.
Exactly, you have your own virtual environment and isolate it. You can just install other libraries to there and there, because sometimes some libraries didn't update himself to the latest version, and if something is deprecated or changed, so you should be aware of what you're going to use of it. So this is the best way to test of it. No problem. Anything else? Okay, I think nothing else left. Okay, thank you Dan, thank you again.